I want to thank the U.S. Army Band and the U.S. Army Choir for providing us the intro for this video. Now, before we get too far into it, everyone tuck that freedom boner back inside your BDU pants. Strap it in under your belts if you need to in order to be able to sit down. It is going to be time for my 4th of July message for 2021. Others have already done their message, and I figured it is my turn. Now, I know that it is belated. It is the Tuesday the 6th after all. The reason for this is very simple. I was very ill over the 4th of July. And I thought about it when I was laying in bed, sick as hell. And it occurred to me that is a great analogy for our country. Our country also has an illness right now. And its illness, its cancer, is Marxism, socialism, leftism. Let's just call it what it truly is, communism. It has infested every institution of our society, from the businesses we work at, the media that we listen to for news and watch for entertainment, to the schools we send our children to, and the very public discourse that we have between each other, whether it is online or even person to person. And it is very blatantly obvious at every level of our government, to include in our law enforcement and our military. Our businesses promote, support, and openly finance groups and institutions that at their very core, they state they want to bring down the United States. They want to destroy the very values our country was founded upon, and destroy the basic institution of the family. And businesses promote it in the name of inclusion and being progressive. Our media, we've known for a long time, has been an enemy of our republic. They openly support and promote the violence committed by groups like Antifa and BLM, who over the last year have left a trail of destruction across our country. Last summer, while the insurance businesses were still putting out the numbers, the estimates on damage alone up to last summer was over $2 billion from properties, stock, just plain loss of being able to do business. Our schools have been completely infested by instructors and teachers who are dyed-in-the-wool communists and have turned them into indoctrination centers. Parents seen that with their own eyes last year as their children had to sit through distance learning. And when the parents listened to the lessons, they didn't hear reading, writing, arithmetic, the sciences, no STEM materials, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What they heard was Marxist indoctrination. Social media. Do we really need to discuss this? If you say anything that's contrary to what the communists want, you are shunned and banned. If you get caught at your job talking about things such as traditional family values or the U.S. Constitution, you can be fired. With government, communism has always been hidden under the surface in the 20th century. But now in the 21st century, especially since the coup that was committed in November of 2020, it is out in the open. I'm just waiting till the hammer and sickle starts appearing everywhere across the United States in the place of the American eagle and Old Glory. How many of you are aware that our embassies all overseas no longer fly the stars and stripes? Now, they fly the flags of Black Lives Matter and the rainbow flag of the LGBT, whatever the hell else they want to throw in their movement. Law enforcement across this country, they'll arrest you if you're a patriot, showing up, trying to air your grievances, trying to peacefully protest. But when it comes to BLM and Antifa, they get free rein. They can literally beat someone to death with the officer standing nearby. And if the person who's getting beaten up tries to defend themselves, the person trying to defend himself is the one that gets arrested, while the attackers are allowed to go free. The U.S. military, the final institution of freedom in this country, the very organization I belong to, that I swore an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, has fallen to Marxism. We have a Secretary of Defense promoting purges of anyone willing to uphold that oath to the Constitution. To back it up, West Point, the very academy established for the United States Army for the training of its officers, is replacing courses in combat tactics and theory with Marxist indoctrination. This was exposed to the public in late January, early February by Sean Hannity. General Milley, the Chief of Staff of the Joint Chiefs in the Pentagon, called to in front of Congress, questioned about why units are no longer conducting field exercises, training for war against enemies like China and Russia, that they keep telling us is a worse threat. Well, one of the congressmen put out a tweet to sum up General Milley's answers to the committee. I do not remember if it was Getz or Crenshaw or who it was. But he pointed out that when General Milley was questioned about critical race theory, he stated he didn't know what it is, then turned around and actively said he supported it, and then pivoted even further and charged ahead and fully supported it being taught at all levels of the U.S. military. Not to be outdone, this traitor who admits he is well versed in Marxism and Maoism and the writings of Lenin, stated here a week to 2 weeks ago that all levels of government and the American people need to be ready for mass casualty attacks by white domestic extremists at any time, that they are imminent. Before I address that, I will say this. Those of us who are painted in the brush as being domestic extremists should find this a compliment. We should be proud to be called domestic extremists by these enemies of the Republic. Our forefathers were called much worse by their countrymen as they were fighting and giving their lives to try to secure freedom for future generations. So embrace the term. Now, with General Milley's comments, and at the same time that these comments came out, social media apparently was ablaze with postings being attributed to patriots and Trump supporters, stating that Trump will reassume the presidency by August or civil war will begin. I'm willing to bet if we backtrack every one of those postings, we will find they were posted by someone working for this regime that is in power in Washington, D.C. They are setting us up for the next false flag, which will be blamed on you, the patriot. We are seeing our freedom stripped away from us. And we sit at home and allow it to happen. Because we do not want to give up our comforts. We do not want to endure what the founding fathers had to when they gave up everything to give us this country. Always remember, freedom is not free. It is earned and only maintained through sacrifice, hard work, and determination. We have allowed ourselves to become soft, complacent, and allowed freedom to slip through our fingers like sand. It will not be returned to us. It will not be given to us freely and easily like a communist stimulus universal income check. It must be earned on the battlefield. That battlefield will not be at an election. It will not be at a voting booth. Comintern, international communism, and the Soviets realized decades ago, before the fall of their great experiment, that the only way to destroy the American people is through division, especially by exploiting and promoting racial division. The basis for this in the United States was first established by Saul Alinsky and the black radicals in the 1960s. But it died away. Why? Because we realized that skin color is a decoration, that we are all human, we are all red-blooded. Cut us open, we all look the same on the inside. So we put into law recognizing civil rights for all, regardless of race, of gender, of skin color, didn't matter. Those laws are still on the books. But we have groups out there now telling us that slavery still exists, that people in this country are still slaves, still held in chains and whipped by the overseer. Is there slavery in the United States? Yes, there is. It's called sex slavery. Part of sex slavery is child trafficking. The previous president did go after the sex traffickers, did go after the people trafficking children across this country. That's the one thing I'll say that he did right. The one thing. But while he was doing that, they were coming up with new plans. And we've seen since May of 2020 what that new plan is. We've seen groups like NFAC come out. They were supposed to be the Great Black Liberation Army. Where are they now? And what exactly were they going to liberate? There's no blacks picking cotton down in Georgia anymore. Getting taken back to a cabin, locked in there at night, with the overseer outside with a bullwhip and a shotgun. But we're told slavery still exists. At least until they started promoting Juneteenth, a holiday that apparently is celebrated in some areas of the United States, but not all. A holiday commemorating the end of slavery, when the final slaves in Texas got the word that they were free. We were told this had to be made a holiday immediately. It had to become a federal holiday to tell us about the end of slavery, to celebrate it. though I do agree with the premise, celebrating the end of slavery should be a holiday. But the very people that were promoting it turned right around the very next day after they had their new holiday signed into law on paper. And they were telling us once again how the blacks have never been taken out of slavery, that they're still on the plantation, that they still need to be liberated. So which is it? Are they free and you celebrate it on Juneteenth? Or are they still slaves in chains, picking cotton in the fields? Which is it? I think we are entering a new era of slavery in this country. And the new slave masters are communists. And I do believe they should be purged from this country. But I do not encourage anyone to go out there and start that purge that they seem to want so much. Let them be the first. And for all we know, they're getting ready to start things off here at any time. Everyone must be ready. I've said this for a while. All of us have told others, you must be ready for what's coming. And I hope you haven't wasted your time. Now a little message to the communists about my channel here. I noticed you guys doing your little posting here about a week ago. Someone named Anonymous posted on a communist website, SecurityGuy42, a fascist. We must dox him immediately. We must take him out. We must find a way to get law enforcement to do our job for us and shoot him. Yes, I did read that thread. No, I'm not the one that posted that thread. There are stupid communists on there stating that I'm the one who posted that thread to promote my channel to get more subscribers. I don't need to promote my channel like that. All of you communists can kiss my fucking ass. And I look forward to sinking a bayonet into your gut, twisting it and ripping it out from your side, slicing you in half, leaving you bleeding and crying for your boyfriend to come help you, to stroke you off one last time before you go on into oblivion. That book tells you where you're going. You're going someplace warm. And you're going to have a seat right next to fucking traitors like H.W. Bush, Mr. New World Order, John McShane McCain, and Donald, I want to bomb the entire Middle East to a fucking glass lake, Rumsfeld. You guys can join them in hell. I'm more than willing to send you there. It's only a matter of time till a patriot's finally had enough. He says, fuck it, and says, it's time. It's April 19th, 1775. And it's time to hoist the black flag. May all my patriot brothers and sisters across the militia and patriot movement always remember Essayons, let us try.